Hey everyone, in this short video I want to talk about the photo books that inspire me. Alright, so going back to my earlier days in photography, I want to start with 7525, which was a book photographed by Samuel Elkins and written by Allegra Berger. Like I said, this is a photo book that I got a long time ago, but it was really inspirational for me. A, because it was put out by one of my favorite photographers, and B, because it's a lot of portrait work that I was really interested in at the time. It's great to look at this book and see how Sam Elkins' style has evolved over time, from the more faded, lifted blacks look to the more contrasted look that he has now. The next books I want to talk about are a collection, and I have 2 out of 3. It's by Christopher Anderson. One is called Pia, the other is called Marion, and the one I don't have is called Sun. In these books, I really find myself coming back to again and again because Christopher Anderson's color theory and style of shooting has always really interested me. Specifically how he takes these very candid looking photos and somehow he injects a bit of magic that makes you feel the tone or the emotion when the photo was taken. And I've always been really interested in his process and how he's achieving that. So I always go back to these books for inspiration. The next book I want to talk about is Forever Saul Leiter. I really love this book, and specifically I love Saul Leiter's painterly style of taking photos. And this book is also really nice because it's full of a lot of phrases by Saul Leiter that are next to the photos, and it just adds a bit more context or insight into his thinking. The next book I want to talk about is a little bit different. It's called Fearless Genius, and it's a photo book by Doug Menuez. This book is essentially documenting the new company that Steve Jobs was working for called Next and its development and life cycle. And I think that this book may be particular interest to me because I do work in software, and so having this history documented is really neat. But Doug Menuez is also an amazing photographer, so it's great to see how he would capture something like a company or a startup in those early stages. All of this brings me back to Christopher Anderson and one of my more recent pickups, and it's his book called Odyssey. This book is very different from his family collection, Pia, Marion, and Sun. I believe I read in one of his stories about this book was that he noticed a theme in a lot of photos going back. I think this book is most interesting because it gives a little bit more insight into Christopher Anderson's study in light and composition, as well as how he sees the world. There's a theme throughout this book that's focused on light, but particularly reflections, and kind of the reflection you would see at the bottom of a pool when you're swimming that comes through the light refracting off the surface. I'm not sure what technique is used or whether it even matters, but I know that some of these photos, this water reflecting theme was actually in the photo, and I believe that in some photos it was actually not in and somehow photoshopped in, because I did find one photo that's in this book that has that water reflection, but then on his Instagram feed I found the same photo without that. Again, I'm not sure it matters, but I am really interested in the technique, what made him interested in this reflection refraction. Alright, so that's it for the photo books that have inspired me most. Hopefully you'll leave some of your favorites in the comments below, and until next time, thanks for watching.